Okay, so this is a special edition discussion here. We got the guys from a fellow FreeFM show, the Feral Crew here.
G'day, how you going, mate?
They've decided to come on to discuss.
It's a very serious topic we're going to talk about.
I like the way we just decided to come on this show.
You guys did.
If we're going to discuss wrestling, there's only one place to do it, and that is on the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You guys sort of had your little, we can call it an argument.
Oh no, we had a full-blown spat on here.
Over who is the best tag team ever.
Ever, yeah.
Ever.
So I'll start. I personally think it's the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom as they were called in WWE, but Road Warriors is what I call them. Every organisation that they've been to, they've won the belt. And back then when you had like the multiple sort of wrestling organisations around there to take out, like, what was it, AWA, NWA, WCW, Georgia Mid-South, went over to Japan and won that, take out the WWF. Like, to me, that's a great team of all time.
And my vote's going for Demolition. Like,
One-trick ponies.
Fro likes to throw a whole lot of different organisations out there, but Demolition, you only needed, if you're that good, you only need one, really.
Well, they are the longest reigning tag team of all
they
time,
did.
aren't they?
What was it? It was
460
something.
Yeah.
I also like Demolition because they were
Road Warrior.
no
ripoff.
frills.
Sorry.
No frills, just going to keep smashing you.
Yep, mate. You know who's
See,
whose
he's
style
jumping
they,
in already.
No, look,
See,
you know
you're like-
whose style they took, eh? They
So-
were pretty much. That was Vince's answer to the Road Warriors. That was
They took
Demolition.
bits and pieces from all over the place.
They didn't. They pretty much said, "Hey, we need to
Oh,
chuck
come
you
on.
in
He's
leather
saying
and
the Road Warriors invented, like,
the post."
gimmicks and
Well, no, they
like,
took
face
it.
paint.
They
and
obviously
stuff
took
like
it from the Mel Gibson movie, The Road Warriors.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day,
which is what Demolition did too.
no, there was no look.
Yeah, the humongous mask and the
Oh,
Lord
well-
Humongous and the leather outfit and stuff like that. Well, leather outfit had been around before Mad Max, but it was from the whole Lord Humongous character.
It was. It
was a
yeah.
combination of Kiss makeup and Lord Humongous.
But it was way after the Road Warriors came out. Way after. It's just a rip. Even they know it. Ask Smash. Ask Demolition Smash. He'll tell.
I'll ask him next time we have a beer together.
Oh, yeah. See, this is the real reason that you're actually standing up for them, eh? It's just like you're mates with them on a personal level. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we're digressing. And yourselves? Who do you think?
Personally, I'd go with DX.
Based on what?
Well, they weren't too much of a tag team, but if you went up to any sort of 10-year-old fan today and you ask them out of which of the 4 tag teams we picked who they know, they'll pick DX. If you go back 10 years to 2004, you ask again, you'll probably get them knowing DX, maybe a few knowing the Road Warriors. If they're a bit older and they know, then you'd get some Demolition. They'll probably know
Hear
Brett.
that, Fro?
You've seen old people like Demolition.
Well, the Road Warriors hung around even after Hawk passed, and then they brought in the...
Haydenreich, eh?
Yeah,
And then they did LAD 2000 or whatever. Oh, that was
Wasn't
terrible.
as good.
No, that
Yeah,
was
it was,
that was
yeah.
a terrible gimmick. And I personally thought, like, when Hawk passed, that should have been it. Just collapsed. Goodbye, Road Warriors. And
Yeah.
and that was the other bit I didn't like as well. Was like WWE when Hawk was going through his troubles. You know, like with his substance abuse and that. And they pretty much put that into the story arc. So they Hawk was a bumbling, drugged out character.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, no way, man. He's like one of the two.
I'm glad I didn't see that part of it.
Oh, that was her.
Really?
Yeah, I got the documentary, The Road Warriors or Legion of Doom, the greatest tag team of all time, and I went through it. I
That's the one
name
you
it.
gave.
Yeah.
That's the one you gave. Yeah, I've only watched the first half, but I remember you showing me that YouTube video where there was a whole bunch of those wrestlers hopped up on drugs.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Neil-
shit, and there was like, wasn't a Hawk right there at the?
He was the front one,
yeah.
yeah. Telling you one coming through and he was all enthusiastic. You just tell the guy was high as. And it's like, what a waste. I understand that back then their schedule and everything, you know, like they were really busy. And sometimes when you can't carry injuries because it's not like you've got medical in that sport. But
But anyway, you took over the poor guy.
Sorry. Well,
Just like you took over mine.
Oh.
as well. But to bring it
Turn
back
my-
round to what
turn
he
my
was
mic
talking
off.
about DX was that I also think it's a good point that you know, the people would recognize them, and most of the wrestlers in DX or were connected to DX. You would recognize them on an individual as well as a team kind of level, which I think is quite a cool. I mean, you can say that for Demolition and LAD as well, but they also had their own.
I think DX. I mean, like DX really hasn't been a productive stable for how many years, but they're still a blue chip brand because their merch is still selling.
That's true.
And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Figures.
Well, the
Yeah.
match.
I mean, us as fans, it's like, who's as wrestlers? But no, I mean, like, DX, great tag team too, man. And pretty much were the anchor of the Attitude Era. I'll give them that. No
So-
Legion of Doom, though.
Believe it or not, Josh is in this discussion.
Sorry, Josh.
It's a bit hard to cut in when you're on a computer.
Actually, I'm surprised that I'm in this discussion. Right? Anyway.
Alright.
So, Josh, who did you think was?
I gotta give you each props for your picks. Legion of Doom was an amazing team in their day. As you said, they won every major title they possibly ever hold.
I sense a
Just-
butt coming.
Yeah,
They
I
were-
heard you.
But I like giving props before bringing in your ideas. Cool.
But at least in ring giftedness, they were definitely not gifted as far as
no, not at
being
all.
in-ring performers. But
No,
they had the character and everything, so that's what got them over.
I'll agree with that.
DX, I can't consider a tag team. Simply because except with the exception of the last run that they made, to give them the tag team titles, they were never a tag team. I mean, for the DX, the tag team was the New Age Outlaws. It
Yep.
was not
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Bret and HBK
True.
or Triple H.
No, that's exactly right.
Disqualified
But-
me then.
You must have a placebo backup tag team.
I'll go Google. And
Well, the New Age Outlaws, like, they were pretty cool.
They just had the belts a couple of weeks ago too, eh? No, lost it.
I couldn't believe that was, because I've only just recently tried to get back into it again, and I couldn't believe they were still going. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're working backstage as producers now.
Huh.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I thought one of them was coaching down at NXT as well, or down the Performance Center. I think Billy Gunn is.
Billy Gunn was, and they brought him up to the main roster to be a producer.
Ah, okay. So anyway, I'm sorry. And so who is the tag team of your choice there, Josh?
I've got to go with, in my opinion, the most gifted tag team of all time. And that's because it had one half of it was the most gifted wrestler in professional wrestling history. And that's the Hart Foundation.
I'm seeing some facial expressions coming from the studio.
I think in Stampede Wrestling, the Bulldogs carried them a lot more and made them look really good. The matches with Dynamite and Davey versus Neidhart and Brett were incredible, and it carried across when they were introduced into WWE or WWF.
I'll give you that. The British Bulldogs were amazing.
Yeah.
It is a shame that all the stuff that went down with the Dynamite Kid, because he could have been something special.
Yeah, no, he could have. He was amazing. He was a pocket rocket and inspired a lot of smaller wrestlers like Chris Benoit. Probably not a good example. But your Dean Malenko's, that sort of thing. It's like size is not everything. He was a short, complete package. He could have had a few single belts.
Yeah, but he also had the same issues that the guy you mentioned first
Yeah.
had at the end of his career.
Well, that's true. No,
Yeah.
that's very true. He definitely was known for his physical and verbal abuse, and it was quite odd as well. I mean, but then again, if I had
And he
Davey
was
Boy
also
Smith
on
next to me, I would.
steroids as well.
Well, yeah, he was abusing the crap out of them, wasn't he?
Yeah. But it's just, these two had the ability to play off each other, mainly because they were brother-in-laws, but they played off each other, and they really took, I felt, a great tag team division. I believe the late 80s to early 90s is the golden age of tag team wrestling.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure.
I think that's why I got into
I felt
that
they
era
took
so
it and
much.
took it to another level. And many of their matches with Demolition, with Road Warriors, with Ruckers,
Yeah.
Killer Bees, British Bulldogs, they were always outstanding matches, and they always stole the show. It didn't matter what else was on it. Those people always came to see the tag team matches wrestle when they had the Hart Foundation in it, regardless of the role that the Hart Foundation were playing.
Yep. Do you think a lot of it had to do with Jimmy Hart as well?
As the greatest tag team of all time because they just
good
were able to draw no matter how they were used.
So yeah, we just had the point brought up. Do you think Jimmy Hart had much to do with their success as a team?
At start, it probably got them over at start. But it was really, I felt them as a tag team and the way they worked together and just the fact that Jim Neidhart oozed charisma.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. The Anvil.
And that's what really got them over was the combination of Neidhart who could really talk and was a decent wrestler for a big guy, and then you had the greatest technical wrestler of all time in Bret Hart. And I felt it made a perfect combination, and it was just a tag team that you just cannot duplicate.
When they first came into the WWF, though, they chucked them straight away and with feuding with the Bulldogs over the belts. So it's like you bring out that Stampede heat into like the mainstream, and that certainly helped them get them over. Helped both teams get over, in my opinion. And they're right. They're probably two. I actually forgot about the Bulldogs. They're probably one of the most unluckiest tag teams.
They were really amazing.
Yeah,
they were a great tag team as well.
And you're also right about the amount of talent that was there. I mean, you look at teams like there was the Rockers and the Killer Bees. I mean, the Rockers won the belt in a house show for one night, then got it taken off them. But in any other organisation, the Killer Bees and the Rockers would be champs. They would have been champs. There were there's 4 great athletes right there, and WWF at the time they got nothing. So it shows you sort of how much either A, talent there was, or funny handshakes and
I think that was
at the back.
Because 89, 90 was when I was. So I remember most of wrestling and when I was really into it. And like you said, that really was a golden age of sort of tag team wrestling, and probably why I prefer tag team matches. Like when I start talking about my favorite wrestlers, it's normally someone who's either was in a tag team or, at least at some point in their career was in a tag team.
See, whereas I was born in 95, so I'm sort of out of all of this discussion.
It's unfortunate.
I was born in 87, but I started watching it at 90 when my cousin's husband
the
at the
story
time,
comes out.
no anymore, the Undertaker debuted.
Yeah, right. Survivor Series, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the $1 Million Man's mystery guest.
That's right. And Survivor Series 90 or 91, I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Probably 90, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure.
That's right, it was too.
Yeah, it was 90.
Yeah.
1 year later, at the Survivor Series, he won the championship off of Hulk Hogan.
That's right. That's there when Hulk Hogan lost his only main event, except for WrestleMania 4.
But it's
and 6.
It's Josh's, my sister's, husband's, cousin's, nephew's friend was the Undertaker story.
I can't even remember how I got into wrestling. I remember that was when they had the trading cards, the bubblegum cards.
I remember
at primary school.
My friend came over with a bootleg copy of WrestleMania 3.
Nice.
And that was my first intro to wrestling. And Mum grew up. I grew up watching On the Mat, like New Zealand wrestling with Mum, way back late 70s NWA, New Zealand NWA sort of stuff. That's what. Yeah, I sort of grew up.
Another conversation we were having was about the best WrestleMania fights, and sadly we both agree. Actually, I went and looked, and we both agree. It makes me feel uncomfortable that we agreed. But we were talking about I can't even remember which WrestleMania it is. We were talking about Savage versus Steamboat.
WrestleMania 3 for the Intercontinental title. Savage versus Steamboat.
That's right, it was 3.
That was the best singles match and the best tag match. That we both agreed on this, and you guys please tell us if you please tell us you disagree.
Yeah.
Was WrestleMania 18 TLC match, ENC versus Dudley's, which are another great tag team and highly underrated. They've won everything as well. Dudley's and was it Edge Christian, Dudley's and the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. I sadly I've got to put my hands up, haven't seen WrestleMania 3 in its entirety, nor that Steamboat Savage match. Josh has been egging me to watch it.
Keep telling him, Josh. Spread the word. Tell him to spread the word, man. What's up with that?
Honestly, I have to go, when it comes to the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, I have to go with the match that drew more money for the company and had more significant impact for the company than any other match. I have to go with Hogan versus Andre.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3, yep.
Yeah. That match put WWE on the map. made it a superpower, and the slamming of Andre is the most iconic moment in wrestling history.
It was pretty iconic.
But did you know that he already did it in 1980 at Shea Stadium? He'd already slammed the Giant. There's actually stuff on there online.
Have you seen that YouTube video
just
that
ignore
shows
that.
all the people that have slammed Andre the Giant or
Yes.
something? That was pretty cool.
Really? Is there quite a few?
Yeah. Oh, there's
Because I know the
Over
Warrior
his
did
career.
it. I know that Hogan did it, obviously. I didn't know anyone else had slammed him.
I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was what the video was. But the other thing I was thinking about when we were talking about the best WrestleMania matches were, I used to love the first 3, maybe 4 WrestleManias when they had the large spectacles and the entourage of like famous people that would come
Yeah.
out. Like that's something I do miss, because the more modern ones you get like one celebrity in the whole event, whereas back then like WrestleMania 1 when Hogan came out with, what was it, Mr. T, Liberace, and Cyndi Lauper or
Muhammad
something?
Ali was there.
Oh, Muhammad
Yeah,
Ali.
that's
Sorry,
right.
yeah. And then there were other ones where there was like Ozzy Osbourne
And Alice Cooper hanging
and
out.
Alice
yeah.
Cooper and all this kind of stuff. Like, I kind of miss that. Like,
What do you guys think of these? Sorry. What
no, you're fine.
What do you guys think of these wrestlers coming back and then taking the belt for a year, and then leaving again?
Don't get Josh started.
No,
on this.
I'm quite heated. I mean, because is this the reason that CM Punk left or not? No one knows.
No.
No one really knows, eh?
No.
No one knows other than CM Punk, and he's not talking.
Good on him.
I say that it's a little annoying if it's for a storyline purpose, but it seems like The Rock. We'll talk about The Rock.
Yep.
He came back, took the title off Punk, just to pretty much lose it to Cena.
Yeah, but it didn't. That was really weird. Like that backfired. Like Cena's character suffered from that, and then The Rock just went off rich. You know, I mean, Cena's becoming. He was always like a focal point for every overweight male ire. Like, let's be honest. You know, but children and women loved him. But after the whole Rock thing, they took his character, which was pretty much a white rock, if I can say that. And then just turned it and twisted it, and now he's a laughing stock. Like, everybody come out, and everyone, he gets more boos and cheers now.
Yeah. It's if you look at all of the part-timers that have come back and won titles, you could do without them.
Yeah.
You could have passed straight from Punk to Cena.
Easily.
You could have passed straight from the Rhodes brothers to the Usos without needing the New Age Outlaws in the middle. They're just trying to come back and live their glory days. And
Well, is this their retirement? Is this like their retirement show? See you later, buddy. Have the belt one more time.
well, you never know. The Rock could come back at WrestleMania 32 and do another match.
Yeah.
People probably wouldn't enjoy it, but it would draw.
And knowing those Muppets in WWE, it'd be like Rock versus Cena 4 because they haven't got an original idea for ages. Let's bring another hero, past superstar back. Because what, Hogan's hosting 30.
Yeah.
I can imagine him doing a surprise, the whole theme, walking down, beating up the bad guys, waving the American flag, and then getting out of there again. Because he has to, it's Hogan. But please don't win
He
the belt.
wants to do another match.
I don't think he's got it in
Hogan
him.
wants to do a match, and he wants to do a match with John Cena.
As good as Cena is, it's a lot to carry.
Never been a big John Cena fan.
I mean, I like it. I like.
No, I'm not an overweight, mate.
No, I know you're not. You're far from it, actually. I should have put anorexic men in there too.
Yeah.
But for the last 10 years, without a doubt, he's been the top earner for the company, and
he
he
would've
is
made a lot of money,
he is their
yeah.
guiding light. At the end of the day, he's their brand figure. Everyone can recognise him.
Yeah.
It's John Cena.
He's,
You do see
he's their
quite a
cash
few
cow.
kids with them.
He is.
You do see quite a few kids with like Cena shirts.
Well, and
at one stage.
that's it as well. Like he does that Make-A-Wish thing, and like the guy's done granted more wishes than any other celebrity worldwide.
Yeah.
Like he's got.
He's granted over 400.
Yeah, and like for that, and he's on the road 350 days a year. Plus he's got time to do this. Plus he's got time to do that. It's like, way to go, John. Good
I
on
just
you.
don't get the whole.
And
You can't
that's
see me.
one of the things that always
but
bugged
the same
me
thing
when,
with
I
people
can
the
see him.
rumors.
He's waving his hand in front of me. Sorry.
That's one of the things that always bugged me when one of the rumors about Punk leaving was that he couldn't handle the schedule. I was always like, really? I mean, Cena's schedule cries at that comment.
Yeah.
Cena does all the shows unless he's injured. He does all the house shows, all the television shows, all the pay-per-views. He goes out and he does all the promotional stuff for the shows. And then he goes out and he does the Make-A-Wish stuff. He does all these charity work, and I mean, he practically has no time off.
That's right.
And so I'm always bugged by that kind of comment, because and it also always bugs me when people downgrade him because of his lack of wrestling ability, quotation marks.
Yeah. The 5 move special.
When he goes out there, he gives it his all for the fans, whether they cheer him or boo him, because he knows the truth about the wrestling business is that as long as you garner a reaction, it doesn't matter what that reaction is, as long as you don't have crickets.
No, that's exactly right.
And so he relishes in the fact that he's got a 50-50 split between the women and children and the smart males.
Smart males.
Quotation marks.
Oh, well, I mean, who else have they got? Who have they got, really?
What, these days?
Yeah, apart from, like, it's such a blue chip full-time wrestler.
Brian.
Daniel Bryan is the latest up-and-comer.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. You've got, like, these young people coming up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the moment, like, it's Cena. Like, Randy Orton is probably one of the... Never give that man a microphone. Ever. I'm sorry, but Randy Orton is terrible on a mic. Look, he's aesthetically pleasing. He's got the looks, the charisma, the wrestling ability. Just don't make him talk, because he's just flat.
At least he doesn't squeal like a 12-year-old girl when he gets on the microphone like Lesnar.
Oh, that's it too. I mean, the guy's
I saw Lesnar talking about how he was going to break the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania or something, and his voice just reminded me of the Simpsons character that mocks kind of Tyson or all those boxers that are big and have this.
Roderick Tatum.
That's the one. Yeah, just reminded me of that when he's talking. Yeah.
I mean, that's why they give Heyman the mic. Like, Heyman's really
I was
good
just
on
about
the
to say that. He was all loud and blah, blah, and then you got this guy that's like twice his size.
I'm going to stomp you, Undertaker.
Yeah.
And to come through there, you better be impressed.
But that's the thing with modern wrestling. Like, the characters are too much alike as well. Like, I can't really... 80s and 90s, another reason why I liked it was because they all had these big gimmicks that were like their own sort of presence, but I can't really tell the difference between wrestlers, like modern wrestlers.
And that's a side effect of the invent of wrestling writers instead of wrestling bookers.
Yeah, the Vince Russos of the world.
The writers are the ones that are writing the promos that they believe is what the character should be, rather than the actual person writing what they think the character should be. Although we do have somebody that's broken that mold, and that is Bray Wyatt.
I like him.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt is writing his own stuff.
Oh, is he?
But then again, he's a wrestling lifer. His father and grandfather are famous wrestlers. His uncle is famous.
The little bits I've seen of the Wyatts, like I do quite like their characters. And actually, that explains a lot if he's the one actually writing it.
He's got to stop watching True Blood, though, eh?
I haven't seen True Blood, so I can't.
Bray Wyatt's family lineage begins with Blackjack Mulligan.
Yeah. Oh, and Blackjack. The Lanza was the other one.
And then that's his grandfather. His uncle is Barry Windham, which is actually where he gets his real first name from. And then his father is IRS.
Edwin Shyster, really?
Really? Yeah. Shit. I mean, golly.
Yeah. No, I'll go with the first one. That threw me as well. I didn't know that IRS was in there. I knew he was a blackjack, but I didn't know that he was. Wow, that's cool.
But that's why he's doing as well as he is because he's got all these people in his life that were really great at either talking or wrestling, and he's kind of like the fusion of the three.
Curtis Axel.
Yeah. But haven't they just swept him under the carpet? They gave him he's a perfect intercontinental champion. Way to go, Curtis! You're doing really well. And the kid's got some skills. It's fairly obvious he's got some skills. He's got everything you need. They team him up with Ryback. I thought that was brilliant. I really did. I thought this is going to go, and then they've just stuck him in limbo. Yeah, he's just revolving mid card.
Axel has the skill. I don't think he has the charisma. Is the problem? He's not getting over with that crowd. They're just not. He doesn't have his dad's gift.
No, he doesn't have Kurt's gift.
Ryback was getting over, and then they screwed him over with all that bad booking a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they're thinking, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. Like the last couple of years, I don't know whether internally...
Ryback was over. He had the entire crowd chanting, "Feed me more." It was getting rid of the Goldberg chants.
Yeah.
And they decided, well, we can't put the title on him, but we're going to put him in the title match anyway. And so we're going to kill his undefeated streak, which wasn't actually undefeated, but they hadn't noticed that. Because actually he lost a match to Jinder Mahal in a house show.
Oh yeah, but what doesn't go on TV doesn't count, mate. You know.
Yeah. But they were trying because they had gone back to count it up so they could do the whole like 55-0, 56-0 type thing, and that's when they found that error.
Oh, so what? As soon as they did that, it's like, "I'll stuff it. It's over. We'll just chuck a mid card."
They never actually mentioned a number for it. But and then they decide, well, we can't put him over Punk because we want The Rock to take the title from Punk. But we're going to put him in the main event anyway, just to have somebody in it. And so they killed his momentum, and then they decide, well, we're going to turn him heel, and then we're not going to give him payoff for it because we need Cena as the champion.
Or Orton, yeah. I mean, so if it's a heel, it's Orton, and if it's not, it's Cena, yeah.
So, and now he's just floundering about with nothing to do because they killed him, basically.
But is half his problem his sloppiness in the ring?
He is sloppy.
That's what I notice every time. I'm like, oh, that just looks horrible.
We'll call it the Sin Cara effect.
No, the Mystico, because Hunico's all good under the mask.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, the Mystico effect.
But I liked Ryback at the start when it was all gimmick, but once the gimmick started to die off, you started to see his sloppiness, his giving people concussions, his missing moves.
Well, that's, you know, I mean, it makes sense to put him into a tag team with someone that is skilled in the ring as Curtis Axel is.
Yeah.
To me, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, they're on the WrestleMania pre-show, but they're still on the card for the titles.
And it's the biggest show ever of the year, you know, like there's no other wrestling extravaganza every year that's big as WrestleMania.
But it's not just WrestleMania anymore. It's WrestleMania, it's Access, it's WrestleCon, it's
Hall
Dragon
of
Gate
Fame.
USA, Hall of Fame, the Raw after, Chikara, I think. Everybody, all the indies have shows in New Orleans around there as well.
Nice. Oh, cool. So it's actually like almost like a Mardi Gras week, isn't it? Of wrestling. Awesome.
But it's such a spectacular now. It's an entertainment thing, not just pure wrestling.
Have you been to one of those, Josh? You popped over to WrestleMania?
No. I've never been to a show.
My goodness, man. If I lived in the States and they...
I want to go, but... Well, I live in a state where they show up once every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And it's always a house show. It's never television.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not about being on TV. It's about seeing your wrestlers doing their stuff.
It's just that I can never get to there, and I can never go. And when they decide to have it, that's when I have to work or something.
But you have been to a few of the independent shows, though.
Yeah, I've got a local independent company.
Good. That's all. I mean, that's what you want. Grassroots wrestling, you know, like it community level. As you get the fun, you can see them. Especially a few years later, if they make it big, you go, I remember him when there was just a spotty little weed, you know, bouncing around the back.
It's like, have you guys ever been to an IPW or
a
WPW show?
I've been to IPW. They come to here in Hamilton and they do the YMCA a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
I've been.
I think I went to pretty much every Armageddon for the past few years they've been at, and Collision Course up at the Meteor once.
Yeah.
Can't make it down to Wellington for all the KPWs and WPWs, but...
Have they combined it all yet? Because there was a couple of years ago they were talking about joining IPW up with Wellington and all that and trying to make it like a New Zealand sort of...
They've been trading back and forth. If you notice, the guys like Travis Banks even was a WPW original sent up. Amy St. Clair's sent up.
Yeah.
But from another host we used to have, Fid, probably might get him back in soon, he has told me there's a little bit of bad blood between a few of the companies that's stopping some of these things happening. We'll talk about a little...
It's not like it's big enough to warrant... You know, like, let's be honest, it's not like wrestling in New Zealand is a big enough sport or, you know, entertainment product for it to have these little spats, you know? Like, it's not like the crowds are huge anyway, you know? Like, you'd want... Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Politics never surprises me.
They could easily come together and put on a huge spectacular, But if you're looking at the singles ones that New Zealand has prominent, you got your Travis Banks and you got your Evie.
Yeah.
I think those are the two, if any of them, we're going to see in America. Like, Travis Banks wrestled a Ring of Honor show. And I think to New Zealand, that's like, we got someone over on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Evie wrestled a couple of Shimmers. And again, that's like,
that's,
oh my
that's
God,
the pinnacle of women's wrestling.
we've
isn't
made it.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Who's going to walk away with WrestleMania with the belt?
We're just talking about this on the other one. I think we both agree Batista.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We don't want it.
We don't want it. But we feel that that's the way they're going to go because they've absolutely given Batista no momentum whatsoever going into the.
Well, the crowd don't like him. It's fairly obvious the crowd don't like him. They're like, they even got people. I think I heard a chant start in the background on this TV, which is really weird because normally they try and get rid of the negative audio, but it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
It's one of the chants.
But you look at it and you're like, well, Daniel Bryan's really over. He's got the overness.
But this would be the perfect time for him to get the belt. Would be WrestleMania 30 on the biggest stage of them all, in front of the taking out the old boss to get there.
Yeah.
And the boss's pet and some animal that they brought in.
But is Batista under more than Batista's over, more than Bryan is
I
over?
really think the crowd don't care. I don't think he'd put bums in seats at the end of the day.
But when Bryan wins, what's the decibels on the chair going to be compared to if Batista wins, the decibels on the boos, the trash being thrown, that image being left in everyone's mind? I believe that might be a car in the background of Josh right now.
I hope so. Otherwise, you have got some issues, Sunshine.
Actually, it's a lawnmower.
Okay, all right, yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Like at the end of the day, if Batista wins it, the crowd's not going to like it, and I don't mean they're going to hate it. I really think they're going to be indifferent from it. I think personally the crowd's going to walk away just going, well, that was a waste of how many hundreds of dollars we spent to go there. There has to be a full-time wrestler has to walk away with it. Otherwise, it's going to turn that belt into a joke. If two part-timers come back,
guess what?
the belts carry on.
Batista's not a part-timer.
Batista is sticking.
What? He's not going back to MMA?
Sticking.
Yeah, it's 2 years. 2 years. Got a 2-year contract, and he's working house shows and stuff.
Oh, in that case, then, yeah.
Opinion changes a little.
Well, no, then it will be Batista. They have to, otherwise, that's so much money for a 2-year contract. Then Vince is going to want some return from it, rather than just having him as a bit player.
And he also has a movie to promote in August.
Oh, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. That looks really good, actually. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm going to go see that.
What about Scooby-Doo?
What about Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. Well, at least they like.
It appeals to the kids.
Yeah, and Sin Cara can't muck up his moves in that.
I don't even want to ask what that. I think I can guess.
What's that? The Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo.
They've done a cartoon, animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, about WrestleMania Mystery, and it's all WWF-y.
It sounds hilarious.
It kind of is. It's got Cena, Rey Mysterio,
Brodus Clay, Sin Cara.
And like he's going to go. I think this year they're going to fire him. I really do. I don't. That's another large character that they've just done nothing with.
The main event player.
Yeah, he was cool when he was the Funkasaurus.
Here's another
the kids loved him,
secret for
but
you.
no.
Josh knows everything.
Triple H has issued a no-fire edict.
Oh, yeah.
That basically means that they will not fire anybody unless they give them a reason that they absolutely have no choice.
It's the let the
Because
contracts run out.
in his opinion, why would a company that's making money and everything fire people?
Yeah.
It's a bad PR thing.
So what's Vince doing with the company
what they'll
now?
do is rather than fire the person, they'll wait out the contract. They won't use them, so all they have to do is just pay them the minimum that's on their contract, and then they won't re-sign them.
That's cheeky too. Then you can sit there and like the player loses momentum. The wrestler loses momentum with the crowd. They just off to the side now and again a bit part. So is that like what they've done with the Miz? What's the guts with him? Because he was another thing. Like 2 years ago, he was main eventing WrestleMania. Now he's like doing sausage sizzles out the front.
He's got to get the tag team title this year. He's had a different title each year. He's had the WWE. He's had the IC. He's had the US. It's time for him to get the tag team.
What are they bringing back?
He's already had the tag team.
He's in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, wasn't he with the Big Show? Didn't they get the Big Show and
Yeah.
the Miz had the belts?
Yeah, Miz show.
That's it. Because
And he was at
Jericho
the same
did.
time. He was also the United States champion, so he's a double champion.
Well,
he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I know that. He's not that talented. Good on the mic, but he's not that talented.
I've heard rumors going about that Miz, Ziggler, and possibly Ryder teaming up to do like a disgruntled guys stable where they're all mad at the company.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I think they kind of passed that up when they decided to stop doing the whole interrupting commentary thing.
True.
That Miz was doing.
Don't know if you guys were seeing that.
Yeah, no, I still watch Raw now and again.
No.
I haven't, to be perfectly honest, watched it in a while. There's no one on there that sort of sticks out and appeals to me as an all-round great wrestler.
Bad News Barrett, man.
There's another guy, though. What's he done? Nothing. He just stands up, podium rises, he talks, podium sinks. I haven't seen him in the ring for how long?
I know, but that irks me. Barrett is a great wrestler.
Yeah, but you know what Americans are like. Like, no offense, Josh, but if they're English, they're villains. You know, there's no way that he's going to be like... Barrett's just going to be the heel forever. He's never going to be a face.
But put him in the ring. Don't have him just talk. Put him in the damn ring.
Well, there has to be a reason why he's not in the ring. He's not... like you said, he's not
Because
useless.
Then the reason why he's not in the ring is simple. Vince loves the Bad News Barrett character.
Oh, it's great.
Absolutely loves it.
But that's the thing that gets me with some of the modern wrestling. There's too much talking. Like, I mean, I'm all for character development and stuff like that, but like I tried watching it on Saturday and there was just I was waiting for some fighting.
Yeah, no.
Like
for a good 40 minutes? Does that sound
it
about
was
right? Half
some
an hour?
ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of time. But like, I mean, again, you know, the Attitude Eras in the 80s and 90s, I mean, they still had that character development stuff, but there was still a lot of fighting.
And even if they were just talking, you're right. Even if they were just talking, people would still come out and just beat them up randomly.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be this big, you know, like Attitude Era. You'd have one of the factions come out and do a big speech or something, and then they're getting ambushed, and then it's all fighting. But like, there's too much of this. Someone will come out, have a giant monologue, and then just walk off, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, Raw pretty much for the past few weeks has started off with a 15-minute monologue from the Authority and then ends with a 15-minute monologue from whoever the hell part-timers coming in.
Huh.
I've got to admit, I do like the Authority. I like the concept of it. I think Stephanie McMahon plays the heel beautifully.
Yeah.
Like, she's really good.
And I like those kinds of
Yeah.
storylines, but it's just, I think they need to do it in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, no, they definitely. Oh, cool.
But again, maybe that comes down to that writers thing as well. Like, yeah, it's what the writers think, so it's the template that they've got, so they just stick with it.
And at the end of the day, it's all got to go through Vince. You know, he yays or nays everything that goes on in that company. I'm assuming he still does, and it hasn't quite. And that's the other thing as well. Actually, speaking about Triple H, last year's WrestleMania was the end of an era. No more. Like, that was pretty much goodbye to the Attitude Era. Like, go off to pasture, Triple H, and retire. Don't bring yourself back. You know, like, don't make yourself a main player at WrestleMania. Give these young people a chance. Is all I'm saying.
Well, Triple H has taken over more and more of the backstage.
I know that, but I mean, like, and he's also front. He's on the camera, you know, like, oh, I'm coming out of retirement and I'm gonna go to WrestleMania and take on you, Daniel Bryan.
I'd say this will be it. It's just 30, just to make a spectacular of the show, because they couldn't get the Goldbergs, they couldn't get the Rocks, the Austins to come back, so they're like, we got to put Triple H out there.
Austin is turning up to WrestleMania 30, but he didn't say whether he's got anything to do with the actual show itself, but he is going to be there in the crowd for sure.
If you've been paying attention to The Shield,
I like them.
that is how you know that Vince and Triple H are arguing. We're not sure which wants which, but Vince, I think, wants The Shield to break up, Roman go separate, push Roman now.
Yeah.
Triple H wants to keep them together.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, we're breaking up. Nah, we're together. Wait. No, we're facing these guys at WrestleMania. They're arguing backstage.
Yeah.
On most of the other issues, I think Vince lets Triple H... He's sort of got him on the reins, but he's letting a lot out on the reins for Triple H to do what he wants.
Well, he's proved himself that he knows and loves the business. That's for damn sure.
The Performance Center.
Yeah.
Biggest thing there. Performance Center. Triple H's idea.
That should have been done ages ago. And like, good on him. Good on him for doing it. Will it take away from the independent circuit, this Performance Center?
It's making NXT into its own brand. with the network as well. So they're not network.
Hmm.
Wrestling is taking strides.
Yeah, and Vince is a very smart man. He proved that way back when he had this vision of global wrestling anyway.
Just not with his American Football League.
I didn't mind those women in lingerie running around pounding the crap out of each other. Personally, I've got to say.
The lingerie
But
ball.
that wasn't Vince McMahon's project.
Oh, wasn't it? Who was that?
That's just the Lingerie Football League,
Is it still
Yeah.
going?
which is actually still in running.
Yes!
That was,
Yeah, they still do that.
No, because the other one...
that was the XFL was his.
Oh, that was terrible,
football
though.
league.
That was a soap opera with pads.
I think we're probably running into the end of the time here. So it's been great talking to you two.
And thanks very much for having us in.
I don't think we solved the tag team issue at all.
No,
No, I think
it
we
was
all-
great listening to
We all agreed on the Road Warriors, didn't we?
We'll agree that there have been many great tag teams through the years, and that everyone will have their favourites, and there'll never be one that is ultimately supreme in everyone's eyes.
Road Warriors.
But yeah,
Turned my mic off, didn't he? Yep.
so it's that button, and that button to turn off your mics.